Are you trying to manifest your SP, or are you simply putting a different costume over your anxious attachment identity? Because I am not a betting woman and I have absolutely no data on this, but I would go so far as to say that the majority of people who are trying to manifest their SP have an anxious attachment style. When we have that anxious attachment style, we are constantly outsourcing our sense of worth, our sense of value, our sense of lovability, and waiting for that validation from another human being. We have a state of waiting, of wanting, of chasing, of overthinking, of overdoing, of overextending, of overgiving. Running conversations through our head, rereading text conversations, interpreting what they might have meant by this, or what you should have said here and didn't say, or what you said here and shouldn't have said. We are constantly assessing and evaluating and monitoring the steps that another human being is taking. Because in an anxious attachment style, we truly believe that if I could just get this person to see me, to love me, to validate me, then I will feel okay. It is an outsourcing of something that we inherently have within us. And so with this blow up of manifesting your SP in the manifestation community, to me, it just looks like putting another costume onto an anxious attachment. And we're still waiting, and we're still chasing, and we're still anxious, and we still get high when they like our Instagram post, and then we get low because they didn't reply to our text, and then we get high because they watched an Instagram story, and then we get low because they post a status that doesn't include us, and there's no rooting in it, there's no safety in ourselves. Our whole emotional state is dependent on the steps another human being is taking of just living their existence. And we raise these people up to a godlike state, one, as if they are the answer to all of our problems, and two, as if they don't have any flaws. And as if they are the only human on the planet who you could possibly form a connection with. Never mind the fact there are supposedly 8 billion people on the planet. And so we shapeshift the anxious attachment style into affirming and scripting and visualizing, wanting, waiting, and still monitoring their output, still monitoring their social media, feeling like there's movement when they watch an Instagram story we've posted, and we're only posting that Instagram story to try and get them to watch it anyway. Everything we're doing or not doing has some flavor of, I want this person to see me, I want this person to validate me, I want this person to make me feel worthy. And spending immense amounts of our life force energy, our literal life force, putting our awareness and our attention on the comings and goings of another human being, taking us further and further away from ourselves, making us more and more anxious. Why hasn't it happened yet? When is it going to happen? How is it going to happen? Anxious, anxious, anxious. And so we watch more videos and we flip between teachers because maybe they're saying something that the other one hasn't said. Oh wait, they're contradicting something the other one said. Should I persist or should I let go? Should I script or should I visualize? Should I affirm or should I... Anxious, anxious, anxious. Can you see this? The person who you are trying to become, who you think you will become if you manifest your SP, is the one who is doing none of that. A secure person in a healthy relationship is not watching a million manifestation videos, is not scrolling through people's social media and then the friends of this person's social media and looking at who this person is and how this person's linked to this person, and suddenly you're in a rabbit hole of someone's second cousin, twice removed, niece's brother's auntie. It is an anxiety that is wrapped up in the idea of manifestation. The version of you who you think you will become by receiving validation from an external source is the version of you you are seeking. And that version of you exists in here. When your life force, your attention, your awareness, your focus, and your commitment, your prioritization is directed towards yourself. Or you could watch another success story and compare yourself to them and create even more anxiety. But truly think about this. I've seen people write about, oh, he watched my Instagram story today. Do you realize how insane that is? And I'm not judging you because I've totally been there, anxiously attached for decades. Bare minimum. Your soulmate, the love of your life, of course they're watching your Instagram stories. They're living your Instagram stories with you. And yet an anxious attached manifestator of the SP gets so hopeful and overjoyed by this, only to see a picture with a girl the next day and suddenly their emotions plummet. There's no regulation to their emotions. It's all dependent on an external circumstance or an external situation. There's no solidity in your state. And yet the person you are trying to become, the person you think that SP will make you by their validation and their love, is doing none of that. They are directing their life force to themselves, respecting themselves, loving themselves, prioritizing themselves, and living their life to the fullest. Can you imagine if you tottled up the number of hours you have spent watching content, listening to content, affirming, scripting, visualizing, acting as if, all the things. Add up all the hours of your focus on another person, of your awareness moving outside of yourself. What would it look like if you spent that same amount of time and energy and focus on yourself? Meditating, journaling, getting creative, doing things you love, going places, seeing people, writing for your own experience, literally living your life to the fullest, prioritizing yourself. So much of our anxious attachment is wrapped up in this fear of abandonment, this fear of rejection. But how many hours are you abandoning yourself? How many aspects of you are you rejecting in yourself? This isn't good enough and that isn't good enough, and maybe if I just, and how about if I did, and what if I... So ask yourself, are you manifesting your SP or are you feeding your anxious attachment? Because you deserve love. You deserve appreciation. You deserve respect. You deserve prioritization. You deserve inclusion. You deserve all the things you're looking for, but are you giving them to yourself? So, do you still want to manifest your SP? Or do you want to fix your anxious attachment?